I think we're
What's
pretty
up,
good for the
JW?
most
Oh.
part, though. As we talk about that, I cut you off. I don't mean to. I was waiting for you. I didn't want to cut you off
I
again.
was waiting for you as well. What's up, JW?
All
That
that.
was my whole question.
Not too much. Just got out of class. What about you?
I was drawing downstairs, watching novellas with my grandma. I had hash
Nice.
browns and an egg. And then you texted me. We were supposed to record 2 hours later or something. And you said, I'm ready now. And I said, oh, JW's ready now. I'm going to run upstairs and get ready. So I pushed everything off my bed and got ready to record.
I respect that.
You said
Yeah,
it
my
was your
class
last
ended early.
class. Like one
Yeah,
of your last
I'm
classes.
like, yeah, I have one more class on Wednesday, but then I'm done this semester.
How does that feel?
This whole semester went by so quick, it being online, but like the last 2 weeks have been so slow. I'm so ready for this to be over and I can just like take a nap.
You're just trying to get out? Do you think you'll
Yeah,
miss it in some ways, or you're just like, freedom?
I don't think I'll miss online courses at all, really. But like I miss physical classes and being in my studio. But online courses, they're nice. Like doing university classes in my bed is great, but I won't miss them.
So what are you gonna do? You don't have school. How long does school take up in a normal day?
This semester is actually pretty chill. I only had a couple classes, but all my classes are 4.5 hours long. So it's
That's four
like
and a half hours. You could be doing something else. Plus,
yeah,
I noticed with school, I mean, I'm in high school, so I don't understand the same pressure. But I feel like even if we don't do anything necessarily important that day, just thinking about school adds this random stress that you feel, even if you're not doing anything. You're just thinking, oh, school. Even if you're just sitting there.
for sure. And this whole week is presentations, which like I'm talking in front of people now, which is like I'm comfortable with. But for presentations with me, it's like I don't know how they're gonna go with like an assignment. Like I know exactly what I did and I like have an idea. But presentations I always get stressed about because like I'm not sure how they're gonna go. And now I just have like this whole week of them.
You're not sure how they're gonna go in what way.
Like I have an idea what I'm gonna say, but I don't know how it's gonna come off, or like I'm gonna get like feedback immediately. Whereas with like an essay, it's like whatever grade I get is what I get, I guess.
So, what are you looking forward to most now with freedom
I
after this
think,
last class?
yeah, I have this couple like obligations I got to do, but then after that, that's what I'm looking forward to. It's just like hopefully it's nice out, and I'll just take like a week off, go for a couple walks, sleep in, and then yeah, probably be recharged, and then go back to normal. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That sounds like the life.
I agree.
That's so exciting. I want to be out of school. I want to just sleep in and recharge.
Right. Yeah, I'm like super happy with how the past like I guess year in general has been, but I'm tired.
When you work on art, because when I work on art, sometimes school will pop up in the back of my head. And it affects how I make my art. I'll just think about school and then it like stresses me out. And I don't know, it just I feel like it shows in my art. Um, do you think your art like how do you think your art will change or do you expect it to change?
Maybe like the quantity of art that I make, like if I'm really stressed about school or something, I'm probably going to make less work. But
Mm.
my whole like the past couple of years with school, I just kind of made whatever I wanted to and then tried to fit it into the context of the assignment. So I don't think it really has affected that.
Today I was drawing downstairs and my grandma had her TV on super loud. But I was drawing and I realized I was in the zone. And sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm drawing and I can't
Yep.
focus. Do you ever like do you ever sit to draw and you just can't focus? Or does that is that not
Yeah.
something?
Sometimes, yeah, it's not immediate, right? That's like the whole right brain thing, I think, where it's like it takes a while to get into that zone, but once you're there, like an hour will go by and just disappear, right? But yeah, it definitely like sometimes I get overwhelmed or like I can't get into it. It just takes forever. But I don't know. I just find like showing up. And if I just keep drawing, like eventually I'll hit that zone, you know?
It's the best feeling when two songs go by and you're like, wait, what happened to that last song? And you press the play, like the backwards rewind. I don't know the backwards one. You press it and it goes to a song that you forgot you even listened to because you were that in the zone that you only remember like 3 songs ago. I
Right.
love that.
What do you feel about that? Like, do you think you're more in that zone than you're not when you're creating?
Um, I feel like I think I'm not always in that zone and I get insecure like I'm never in the zone. But it's because when I am in the zone, I just forget. And it's like I turn into a different person and I go in this other like world. Uh like I'll look at the clock and I'm like, "Ugh, I only drew for 30 minutes." But I look at the clock and hours passed. Uh and I feel I take that for granted sometimes or I don't appreciate what I'm doing. But I think that's not necessarily about art. I feel like when I was little, I watched too many like motivational videos or like read too many self-help like workbooks. So now I'm like, I have to be producing more all the time. And it kind of poisoned my brain, I feel like.
Right. Yeah, I think my brain is rotting as well. I think the same. I don't know. In a lot of ways, though, like having that mentality, like if it doesn't beat you down, like that's great. Like I've made a lot of work and I've had that mindset for a while. But like as soon as it starts to like affect the work that you are making, or like you start to think like you're not doing good because you're not making anything, like I see negatives from that. But
In my brain, I feel like I always have to be drawing. Like the other day, I was upset and I was just laying in bed and I was being sad and emo. And I was like, I should be drawing right now. And I was like, hey, dude, you're upset. Let's sit here and be sad. But then I was also like, well, go draw and go do something else. And it's hard for me to find that balance of just being myself and existing or being like, I should be drawing to express my emotions and get it out. Because I feel like I make my best work when I'm sad or like when I'm just like distracting myself. Um, I don't know. I think sometimes I don't let myself be a person, which sounds bad,
right,
but it's something I'm working on.
you're an art robot.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I am. I love art though. It's just, I don't know. I think I conditioned my brain in a weird way.
Right. I mean, it is a job and all jobs are work, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes you don't want to work. You're going to feel like that. I think that's fair.
When you're not working, are you okay with separation? Are you just like, I'm not drawing right now. I'm doing something else. Like you were talking to me about playing Minecraft. Okay, this is
You exposed
asking
me.
JW, asking JW for advice. You were like, I was playing Minecraft the other day, and you were just playing Minecraft. Were you thinking about art or anything, or you were just having fun with your friend?
If you asked me that a year ago, maybe like 2 years ago, I would feel guilty. I'd be like, oh, I can't be doing this. Like I need to be constantly doing something, right? But I don't know. I feel like I hit a point recently where it's like I'm comfortable with where I'm at, and I don't want to get too comfortable, right? Get stagnant. But it's like by just doing art, I'm just gonna burn out again. So it's like I'm gonna allow myself to have fun and not like work 12 hours every day like a couple years ago. That's funny you say that because sometimes I'll like ride my bike all day and like do whatever and then be really late at night and I'll just start drawing and I'll be like, oh, why didn't I start this sooner? Like I start to realize like how much it's just like a mental roadblock in my head that I'm building up where it's like, oh, I don't want to get that done. Like I don't want to work on that right now or whatever. But like as soon as I start, I love it. So it's like,
Mm.
I don't know, it's a balance where I like have to allow myself to do other things, but also force myself to show up still, you know?
Yeah, it's been a thing for me trying to figure that out. I was playing video games the other day, and I was having fun playing the video game, and I wanted to enjoy it. But part of me was like, what am I doing? I need to be drawing. I need to be working. And I was having this little mental like like evaluation in my head. And then when I wasn't playing with my friends anymore and I was alone drawing by myself, I was like, wait, I just missed out on this moment because I didn't enjoy it because the entire time I was with my friends, I was thinking about other things I should be doing. And I felt so like guilty and just disappointed. Um, because what's the point of thinking about it if I'm in this moment? Why am I thinking about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Um,
be focused and present on that because that's what you're doing. Right.
right.
But on the other hand, I hate to glorify that feeling, but I do think like a lot of my success has come from that where it's like, oh, I've been doing this for too long. Like I'm wasting my time. I need to focus on what really matters to me. So it's this really weird balance where it can get toxic really quick, but
Yeah,
it's also extremely useful.
it's a problem. um, or sometimes not. I don't know if I'm being too like philosophical or what. I just think, what even do I want? Like, what is like?
Right.
Some painters will paint one painting for a month and just focus on that and make beautiful art. And I'm like, well, what am I doing? Why am I thinking so much? What do I want? What is my why? Coming from the Tommy Wilson. And I'd be like, what am I doing? Or like, why am I stressing myself out? Just draw and enjoy. And then I'm like, what is success to me? What even do I want? And I don't know. So that's been my thing lately.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a balance. Like whenever I hang out with my girlfriend, I'm I'm never thinking about, oh, I should be painting right now.
Mm.
Because like that's another avenue in my life that I want to like cultivate and have like a healthy relationship with, right? So I think when I'm doing something that I perceive as like not important, maybe like playing Minecraft, that's when I start to like nag on myself a bit. But like if you're with your friends having a good time, like who cares?
Okay. I needed that. It's been my problem lately. The other day I was sitting outside and I wanted to read. I've been reading less because I'll be reading and I'm like, go draw. But it's from what I read. I know we talked about this already, but it's a thing I deal with all the time. um,
I'm still doing that too.
the thing I read is what inspired the whole piece I made. So why am I stopping myself from reading this? Um,
Also, it's like you already got inspired, make
yeah, so
something,
I have
come
this
back.
fight in my brain. Or sometimes I don't even go outside to read. I just sit outside and I'm like, wow, the weather is so nice. I'm not in my room, like cramped up in my room, like in my little corner. I'm outside. It smells amazing. The trees are beautiful. Oh, wow, the clouds. I love these clouds. And then I'm like, what am I doing? Go draw. And I'm like, no, Fiwo, enjoy the outside. It's beautiful. Let's sit out here. Um, I don't know.
Don't you find that you need something else to accompany art though? Like I find when I'm just making art, it's not influenced by anything. It's just art. Like I'm not like referencing things I see on my bike rides or like painting landscapes that I see. Bad examples, but it's like I need like something to go with the art making, or else it's just like inauthentic almost. Do you ever find that?
I think when I was, because I started making art as my coping mechanism to exist when I was a little kid, and it was like my feelings. And now that I'm getting older, it's like my safety blanket. And I'm like,
Right.
I want to go draw. I want to go hide and draw. So I think it's just me growing up and dealing with balance, because all I would do was draw the entire day. So now I'm just like, I don't know. I just like drawing. I love drawing. And it's not even from a aspect of like, pretend the internet didn't exist and I didn't have to post it. I feel like I would still be like that. It's
Yeah.
just like my little thing that I feel like I always have to be doing. It's like a nervous thing. Like when I'm sitting and I'm nervous, I'll like mess with my chapstick and take off the cap or click a pen. And when I'm drawing, it's like I'm doing something with my hands, and I'm not thinking about right now. So I can make this story and do whatever I want. Um so I feel like I'm uncovering things about myself right now as I say them out loud.
Right. I had the same thing though. It was like I was this anxious like 16-year-old, and that's when I got like really heavy into art. Drawing like helped me. So like that's all I did was like I was constantly drawing every day, barely hung out with people. Like my friends would invite me to hang out and be like, oh, I'm busy drawing, right? But like now that I'm a like a functioning adult where I feel like I have a control over my emotions, I don't feel the need to draw constantly to like heal myself, you know? Yeah.
Whoa,
So that's a
this
that's
is
a
so
tough
cool.
place to navigate because it's good. Like you're furthering your career a lot. You're learning a lot. Like you're doing what you love. But it's also like, are you like not addressing things by like always working, you know? Like,
You bring up
yeah.
good points, JW. What the heck?
Hey,
I don't know. I
we weren't
never
even
say
supposed
this
to
stuff
talk
out
about
loud.
this.
I know we have all these list questions and we're just talking about my feelings.
We're like 20 minutes in, we haven't even touched one. That's
um
great though. I like it to be like casual.
it's so strange. The podcast is so cool because I know we always talk about the podcast, but I don't really talk about art or how my relationship with art. Or if I do, I feel like they don't. The person I'm talking to doesn't understand, whether it be family or like a friend. They like can try to understand, but talking to an artist, there's just this different understanding. Like just the fact that we sit for hours and stare at this iPad or this canvas or whatever, that's a whole other thing. I don't know. Isn't that so crazy that we just sit and stare at something and work on it?
Yeah, I like sometimes I'll think about that, and I'll just think about how long I've like sat and looked at paper, like months of my life, you know, like, but it's deeply fulfilling. So it's like I don't regret it, but it's insane to think about it that way.
I have a question. Does your back? How do you sit? Is there like okay? I know there's a right way to sit. I googled it one time,
Yeah.
but I can't sit like that and draw.
Okay. I'm going to expose myself. There's two ways that I sit. It's either when I'm painting, I don't sit and I'll stand, right? So painting, I have no issues with my back. But with my iPad, like if I'm at my desk, like I'm literally like that. Like my neck is like straight down. It's terrible, right? So what I've been doing, laying down in my bed, like on my chest, right? And I'll like prop myself up on my arms and just draw like that. So it's like, it's just like I'm laying down. It's great.
So you draw in bed?
Isn't that funny? Like if you look at my digital work, I probably drew that laying down.
Wait, like I'm so confused. You lay on your stomach, or how do you do
Yeah.
this?
And I kind of just like, I don't know, like have a pillow on my chest or something and I'm like drawing.
Oh,
You don't do
like
that?
on your back,
No.
like this,
Yeah.
and your arms are on the bed.
I don't even know. I've never thought about this. I guess like I like put a pillow right here. So I'm like kind of propped up. And then like I'm not really looking down. It's like where I'm looking is where my iPad is. It's a lot more comfortable. I recommend it. It sounds insane.
But okay, when you go to sleep, you know how there's that scientific study where they're like, don't work and do your studying in bed because
Right.
it'll bring the relationship of sleep, whatever. Does that affect your sleep at all, or when you're laying in bed? No.
No, I just pass out.
Wait, are you the type of person that can just sleep? Like you close your eyes and then you
I
go
mean,
to sleep?
sometimes I'm not like that good. Like, definitely not that good, but I don't think drawing in my bed affects it though.
Oh no, I just think in general I have sleeping problems.
Oh,
I close my eyes and nothing happens.
sometimes I'll close my eyes and just like get really excited for like whatever I'm doing next or something. And it's this like really dumb cycle where it's like I'm excited for the next day, but I can't even get to the next day because I can't fall asleep because I'm excited.
So what do? You just keep just existing?
Well, I probably will flip over and then just draw until I pass out.
Do you use a pillow?
Oh yeah.
I love my pillow, but sometimes I'm like, this is too much, and I take out my pillow and I just
You,
I
you
just
just
lay
sleep
with
on
no
your
pillow.
back?
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
What? I think it's
Is that
because
good
my
for you?
neck. I don't know what's good or what's bad, but my neck always hurts from drawing. Um, so when I just lay flat, I'm like, I'm just still.
That makes sense to me. Neck talk. We're like 25 minutes in almost, and I haven't even asked you what you've been up to. You've had a busy week.
Oh, this week has been nuts. Oh my goodness. The auction was yesterday on Nifty. Today there's a auction with Super Rare. The collab I did with Coldy. Um, the Coldy collab was nuts. He asked me months ago. I'd say pretty early when I got into crypto. He asked me to collab, and I was freaking out because he's Coldy. Coldy, I didn't know this until I started talking to him. Because I was so new to the space, I didn't know the lore behind everything and who each
He's the
person was.
OG.
Yeah, he's an OG. He's been there for so long, and he was telling me about just the history, and I felt like I was talking to this grand wizard who knew
Yeah.
like everything. And he was telling me these awesome stories or the crypto conventions they would go to, and it kind of made me sad. Like the pandemic freaking sucks because I was like, dang, I want to go to these conventions, and because everyone like knows each other. Like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I saw them at this convention. I saw them at this." And I don't know, I want to experience that. I've never been to a convention before. But
Yeah, I didn't even think about that when we got into crypto. I think you too, like both of us. It's like I haven't experienced crypto art outside of a pandemic, right? So
yeah,
it's like going to a convention or like flying to Shanghai and seeing our works in that show. Like that would have been so cool.
that would have been nuts. I can't believe to anyone listening who didn't know, me and JW had our art in Shanghai in this super cool opening event, and
I think it was the IOSG Venture
yeah, I think so.
Gallery. I think that was the name.
And when Anne from Super Rare told us that that was going to happen, I was like, oh, that's really cool. But you know how
Yeah,
sometimes people say something really nice and you're like, oh, that'll be cool. But I didn't think it would
if it
happen.
happens.
And then, like, weeks pass and it happens. And you see these pictures of people walking around looking at our art, and it's in this beautiful, like, screen, and it says our name next to it, and it looks really
Like
fancy and
embedded into
beautiful.
the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so funny seeing like all these beautiful people in their beautiful clothing, looking like staring at my work, at my like dumb cat drawings. Like they're all like dressed up, like probably really interesting people, like looking at a cat skateboarding. That
Have
was
you
so
had a
funny to
show
me.
before?
Yeah, I've been in a bunch, just through like school.
Mm.
Yeah,
How did it feel to have like basically like a little like a show? But it was crypto stuff and digital.
it's weird because normally like every show I go to, you go to the opening, you have a little party, you walk around, you see all the art. But this time, like, we were just in that group chat, like like the photos were coming in. It was like, it was such a strange experience coming from a traditional gallery exhibit, going to like one in Shanghai that I wasn't at. Plus, it's like during COVID. So, like, it was kind of more exciting because it was like, oh, like, are they going to post a photo of my drawing yet? Like, I was
Yeah.
waiting for it.
We got this website where the people from the event would upload pictures, and but you didn't know what pictures they were going to upload. It's just whatever uploaded you saw, and we all saw it at the same time. So everyone was refreshing, like, oh, did they see
Yeah.
my art? Is my art there?
I
And
was
it
one
was
of the
so
first
fun.
ones. I think me and a couple other people, like, I think there's 10 people in the show. And it was like, I was one of the first. And then, like, the whole day goes by and no one's seen your work. And I was
I
like, oh my
know.
God, did they not add you? Like, I was so worried.
I was so like, oh my god, like, cause it was so cool. I was like, I don't know, it was a really cool opportunity, and I've never been in a show or been in anything where
Right.
even a physical artwork where people could see my art in real life. So it was just, I wanted it so bad, and I thought it didn't happen. Then last minute, I did get a picture where
Right.
my art was there, and I said, yeah, and I was so happy.
I mean, for a first show, like, definitely a weird experience. But if you think about it, the guy who invented Ethereum, what's his name? Like,
Vitalik.
yeah, he was speaking at that show.
Can you believe JW doesn't know the name?
What's his last name then, huh?
Buterin.
Okay. I was going to say Victor. And then,
Vitalik Victor? No.
no, no,
Oh,
Victor. Blah,
Victor
blah, blah.
Buterin.
I had the first letter right. But anyways,
Yes.
your first show, that that very cool man was there. I didn't remember his names, and I
The
felt
ETH
bad.
man.
ETH man.
ETH
Isn't that
man was
crazy
there.
though? Like, have you ever thought about how bizarre that is?
Yeah, part of me was like, does he know who I am?
That would be cool.
That's crazy. It's so
Do you have,
strange.
do you have any other shows coming up?
Shows? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm in this thing called Future Art. It's in
Oh, is that in
Sydney.
Australia?
Yeah, it's in Australia. I don't know when it is. This would be a good time to plug it. I feel terrible that I don't know the date. I'm so sorry. But it's
You're
called Future
busy.
Art, and there's a lot of artists in it, and it's going to be in Australia, in Sydney, in January. And it's going to be a thing where people can go and look at like crypto art stuff and learn about NFTs. And I'm very excited. They're doing an amazing job with like the promo and making these cool videos.
It's like
And
mysterious and like, ooh,
yeah,
what is this?
I was so, I don't know, I'm just so excited. I was excited when they asked me to be in it, but then they showed me the other people who are going to be in it, and I said, oh my God. I just said yes because I thought this was cool. But all these other people are here too. This is even cooler.
Yeah.
Um,
I ended up recognizing a ton of the names, but of course I
yeah.
don't remember now.
But one day I do want to have like a real life painting show.
Right.
I've never done one. I don't know the etiquette or what you have to do or how that even works.
Right. Why do you want to have that though? Considering like your work already sells, you don't need to.
Just because I want to see people look at my art. It's, I guess, a big ego thing. But come
Yeah.
on, like, you make art, you paint, and you're alone in your room the whole day, and you get to see people walk around and look at it. That must be a good feeling, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a
I don't know.
crazy feeling just seeing complete random people like appreciating your work in real life opposed to on the internet.
And do you
And
like
it's
hear
also
them talk about it too and stuff?
I mean, I don't try to like snipe people, like watch people and like spy on them or whatever, but like it is interesting to like walk by and like try to hear something maybe or like and that's one of those things where it's like you don't need to be in galleries to be an artist, or like you don't even have to be in a gallery to be a successful artist, right? That avenue's kind of, in a lot of ways, it's like dying. There's a
Mhm.
lot of like really negative things associated to the gallery route, but you go in a gallery and you tell your grandma that, like, she knows you're doing good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's like the point of it, you know? Like, like, just so like, my grandma doesn't understand crypto, but if I got into a big gallery, she'd be like, "Oh, I get it now. Like, you're actually doing good," you know?
That's another thing about like galleries and shows. Like in the Shanghai thing, I felt so proud. I was like, my art is next to Jonathan Wolfe. My art is next to Femzer. Like all these super cool artists. And I felt so proud just to see my art next to these artists that I also adore, who I happen to be friends with. But just, it's so cool to see us together. And it's also so cool that we're all like, we talk and we're artist buddies, but also our work is respected and is doing well. And we're like thriving together in this show. And it makes me proud to see and just look at how far we've come and look at what we accomplished and what we did. So, yeah, I don't know, to be in a gallery or a show and to just see my art next to, I don't know, like other artists, I feel like is a good feeling.
Totally. Yeah, you feel less alone. Like, because our whole career is just working alone in our rooms, basically, right? And you come together. That's a great feeling for sure. And especially with this show, I think we knew like a month and a half in advance, which is like not that long for a gallery. But like for us, a month and a half in crypto years, it's a long time.
Crypto year.
So like after all that time of waiting and it actually happened, and it's this like crazy event, like that was really fulfilling. That was a great feeling that night.
It was. I kept staring at those pictures like, this is real?
That's cool. Do you want to have like, would it be a traditional gallery, like all paintings, or like would you want to have a gallery with like NFT based art too?
Dude, here's what I want to do. I want to get a building. I just want to do it myself. I want to get a
That's the way
building
to go.
and do whatever I want. I want to have beautiful paintings that I did there, but also I want to talk about NFTs and I want to have random I want to build a robot. I don't know how yet, but I want to build a robot that is its own art piece. But it's interactive. I want to
Right.
do so much. I want to well, my dream, did I tell you my dream? My dream is to build a gallery. Um
Yeah, I remember you talking about that on Twitter.
yeah, that's my dream. I have two dreams. My dream is to make a documentary, and my dream is also to make a gallery. And it's so strange. The pandemic has changed how I view that. But I really want to make a. Have you been to this place called Meow Wolf?
No,
So I think it's only in
that
New
sounds
Mexico. I don't know why I asked you that.
interesting.
So it's this place called Meow Wolf, and Meow Wolf is. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I don't know. It's just this place. It's so weird. There's a story, and you're supposed to follow hints and read the story as you walk around this interactive building place. But I didn't do it because it was so pretty. And I only had so much time to be there, so I said I'm just gonna walk around, and it's so cool. There's like a fridge, and you walk through the fridge, and it takes you to this other world, this other room, and one room is just black and white, and it's artists from New Mexico who made this place, and the room looks like a cartoon. Like it looks like Disneyland, how things are like cartoony and but look really good. So everything there has different themes and different rooms, and there's TVs everywhere that have weird films on them, and it's cryptic and crazy. Um Everything is beautiful. And being there just inspired me so much. And I said, whoa, what these people made this? Like this is allowed, this giant building. And there was a lot of people there too, going there to see. And my aunt is just like this soccer mom who has these two sons. And she went to this beautiful art place. I'm sure maybe they don't understand how amazing it is and don't appreciate it, but they went, is the point.
Right.
And I said, well, if they're going, I would love to make my own gallery type of place where I can show all these artists that I love and give them a spotlight, and make it like an artist gym also, like where I can give them studio space to work and any
Right.
supplies they need. Um I don't know. It's like this crazy dream I have that I don't know how it would be funded or how. Like, also, I want to give art classes to kids, but from cool artists that are well known and are like, hey, I'm going to teach you all about this. And the kids can go there and learn, or even adults, whatever. Um, I just have to figure it out. So much I want to do,
Right.
but
Yeah,
that's
that's
my
a really
dream.
cool take on like the traditional gallery route. Have you ever heard of David Cho?
No, who's that?
He's this artist from LA, and he painted Facebook's mirror, or like when Facebook just started, he painted their entire building, like the interior.
Mm.
And I think it was like they're gonna pay him $30,000 or like a certain amount of Facebook stock in the early 2000s. So then he took the shares, like he's worth like $500,000 now, right? So money is no object to him. And he does these things called the Cho show, where you have to sign like a contract. You're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to take videos or anything. So it's kind of weird in that way. But he just will buy a warehouse in LA and then for a couple months destroy it, paint in it, do whatever he wants in it, right? Have people come by, like celebrity guests, like other artists, all this stuff, right? And then you go to the gallery show and like you're not even allowed to talk about it. He makes this experience that like only the people who go there are able to experience.
I'm about to do
It's
so
an
much research
insane
after
thing.
this. His name
Yeah.
is David Cho.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
He's a
David Cho.
Korean American artist, and like he uses a lot of spray paint. Like he's insane. Like his work is super all over the place. And I remember for the last one he did, I think he's done two. Um, he would buy these like 50-liter drums of paint, like these huge barrels full of bright paint, and then he would like cut them open and just like roll them around the studio. So like the floor was all painted. Like it was insane.
That's my dream. David Cho. David Cho, please be my friend.
Dude, I he's like he has been one of my favorite artists for years now. And like
David Cho.
yeah, I really enjoy him, but if you like listen to his stuff, like he crosses this border where it's like I don't know if this is performative and like he made it as an artist, so now he can act like crazy and weird and
Mhm.
like say things about what it's like to be an artist that like aren't necessarily true or easy. But besides that, he's great. I love him.
I love the warehouse thing. I was talking to Zach Thompson. I adore Zach Thompson. And he got this studio space. And he was telling me, he said, I want to get a big space. I want a warehouse. And he showed me this place and he said, I like this place. And I said, oh, wow, you know places? Like he was already looking.
Wow.
But, and he said, there's another one next door. You should get it. And I was being like, dude, instead of us getting both, let's get three. And then the third one is all these artists can go. And it's this cool hub. I don't know. I love the idea. Maybe because when I was a little kid, I didn't have friends. But I want to make a clubhouse.
Right.
Or I don't know a lot about comedy, but like a comedy club where all these artists can, comedians can go and people go see. And it's just like a general, like, place to go and to have fun. And when you go there, you know it's the spot. I want to make a place like that, except painters. I know
Right.
it probably, and like whatever, like any type of artist. I would love to have spaces where even like musicians and stuff, or like if you wanted to make a film, but you needed like help with a budget or something, or you needed equipment, I could help with that. Don't know how, but I just love that idea in our own little world. I don't know.
For sure. That's like one of the big things about art school is being in a studio space surrounded by other artists, right?
Yeah.
But it is definitely there's definitely more rules, like
Yeah.
but also in a lot of ways there isn't. I would see people like they would like spray paint in their studio, like they would like throw paint on the walls. So like I guess not, but if you could do that without art school, that's cool.
Yeah. That's my dream though. I don't know. I'm working on it. I have
Hell yeah.
little notes where I'm like, one day But also, I want to do everything. I want to make
Yeah,
markers. I want to make. I told you about this. I ranted to JW for like an hour about all the crazy ideas and dreams that I have.
I love that about you. Like, you don't put a limit to what you want to do, right?
No way.
No way. I love
Well,
it.
it's just like everyone is just people. So if someone who did something amazing is just a person, I'm just a person. I could do whatever I want. You just have to work hard to make it happen. It's just time.
For sure. That's a good way to think about it too. Like, no one's special. Like, sure, people are born with opportunities, other people aren't. They're just people.
Right. And I think media and stuff glorifies people to otherworldly beings of being
Yep.
like gods. When it's like, no, you're just a person. You have feelings. You're not special, and I'm not special
Yeah, you have
either. So,
doubts.
so
Yeah,
I'm gonna just work hard too.
totally. Almost 45 minutes and we haven't talked about vintage. I'm just
Oh,
staring at these
oh,
t-shirts right now.
okay. Hold on, y'all. We need preface because I feel like sometimes we talk about things
Yep.
just because we're talking, but we need to explain. Okay.
True. They don't know the backstory.
Yeah, they don't know the backstory. I don't know the full backstory. So JW told me that you used to sell vintage. How does that work? You used to sell vintage
Yeah.
clothing?
Before class, I would show up like a couple hours early and I would go to the thrift stores around like the area. I'm going to get shit for this because apparently everyone hates resellers now, but it's like, I don't care. Like, I'll be okay. Yeah. And I'd like buy and sell vintage clothing for like if my class was at 2, I would show up at like 9 and just go thrifting until 2.
Oh, that's a long
And it
time.
was like, it was really fun. Like I had an Etsy, I had a Depop and an eBay, and it was doing really good. But at a certain point, it was like, I want to be a full-time artist. I don't want to be selling vintage clothing my whole life, you know?
How did you know to do that?
Um, I've been thrifting for like, I don't know, maybe 6 years now. And like I would find some stuff that was really cool. I'd wear it. And then maybe after a while it didn't fit or something. And I would sell it and be like, oh wow, this stuff like actually has a lot of value to it.
Hmm.
So when I would go thrifting, I would like pick up a couple other pieces that I knew also had value, right? And then that was like before art took off, right? So it was like I would do art and I would do vintage, and it kind of like became like a sustainable job, like having those two together when art wasn't doing too well, right? But now it's like art's doing good. I don't want to be in a thrift store for like 8 hours a day anymore, you know? So that's how I got into it.
That's so nuts. I didn't. Do you go to different ones or you're just in one?
I would go to like 5 in a day at my peak.
And you just look through everything?
Yeah, I had like a whole method. Like I was friends with all the employees. Like we'd talk. Like
Oh my
occasionally they
god.
would like hand me stuff, which was really nice. Like it was cool. I definitely miss it, but it's like, especially with COVID now, it's like I'm not gonna go thrifting right now.
Yeah. So you would sell them, and now you just have an eye for these super cool vintage clothes, and it blows my mind. Just the market too, just everything about it. I didn't
Yeah,
understand. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I'm sure there's some people listening who are in the same mindset as me. Well, not anymore. JW blew my mind. Okay. So I asked JW, I said, dude, all your shirts are so cool. And I'm gonna be honest, since this, because all I wear is this Fewocious hoodie, and I think I need to up my game a little bit. And JW has his watch, and he has different hats all the time, and different shirts that are cool and have like cool pictures. And I said, dang, I want cool shirts. And so I told my partner, I want to. JW has all the swag. I want to have some swag too. And so I
I don't
tried
have
looking.
swag.
You have all the swag. So I tried looking through stores, like normal department stores, to find cool clothes. But all of them were so cheesy or looked really stale or boring. But JW's always has a like something to it. So I asked him, "What do you do?" And he said, "Oh, all my clothes are like vintage." And then he told me his Batman backstory. And but it blew my mind that there's this market of people who are buying like these old shirts, because to me I was like, I don't know, it's just an old shirt, who cares? but it's a
Yeah,
whole thing. It's a whole world.
it's insane. And when you get into it deep enough, like there's a couple of shirts going for over 5K now.
Dude, yeah. I was um looking to buy my own shirts and stuff, and all the shirts I liked were really expensive. It was like $700, but it wasn't like it was a designer brand that you think of like Gucci or Louis Vuitton. It was just a old shirt that like is rare and from a certain time, and only so many were printed. Um, but in my head, when I thought expensive clothes, I limited myself to like designer brands. I never really thought about
Right.
the collectible uh date aspect, which
Yeah,
blew my
it's a whole
mind.
new world, right? I love it. And especially like buying used is so much better. You can like pretend like you're making a huge impact, which like I haven't bought new clothes and like some things I buy new, obviously, right? But like t-shirts and coats, like I haven't bought a new coat in like 4 years or 3 years even. Like it's like you can really lower your impact that way. I love it.
Do you ever buy a coat or a shirt and you're like, dang, I wonder who wore this before me?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll think like, oh, I bought this from a thrift store and then or maybe I'll buy it online. Be like, okay, so this guy bought it thrifting and then someone wore it before him. Did someone before him buy it from a thrift store too? Like how many times has that been recycled through a thrift store or like sold online? That's always weird to me.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I bought this shirt. It was like a Las Vegas shirt, like a college shirt, and it was old. And it was in New York. And I said, why was this shirt that you
Yeah.
could have only gotten here in New York? And I said, did someone just buy it? Like, I don't know. But like I thought about this whole story. I'm like, what if they went to college here in the 90s and then they made this whole
Yeah.
lore?
That's the best part about it. It has like a story to it almost. Like especially like well-worn vintage clothing, you could tell whoever wore it last loved it. And that's cool to
Hmm.
me. Should I get into it?
Yeah, show us, JW. He put together
All
an
right.
epic
This is one of my
collection.
favorites. This is an MC Escher from the 90s.
That shirt is so dope. This is the shirt I saw him wearing where I said, I need to start getting into vintage clothes.
Isn't that crazy? Like, and then you can like, oh, you can't see it. You can like see through it. It's been worn so much.
That's a beautiful
Beautiful
shirt.
shirt. Yeah,
And I
with
love
like all the
how
weird stuff on the
the
side.
print is like everywhere. There's no limitation. So many shirts are just
Yeah,
like a little tiny print
these
in
are
the
like
middle.
super popular. Yeah, the Oliver print. Like a lot of new brands now are like copying vintage style.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's one of my favorites. I got this was one of my first thrift finds, and I didn't know it was vintage when I got it, but I just liked it. It's the Mona Lisa I Love You a Latte.
It's a fire shirt.
And like something about vintage shirts I really love is the quality. Like this isn't digital printing, this is all silkscreen. And this is like almost 30 years old,
The
but
color
it's
is
still
so
holding up.
vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I got this on vacation in Victoria.
that's so
Pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, it's a boring one, but Picasso, favorite artist, have to get a
Boring.
shirt from
How can you
him.
say that's boring?
It's not my favorite. There's cooler Picassos.
But I tried
Yeah.
finding a shirt like this new and I couldn't find one. Unless it
Yeah.
was someone
I don't
weird
they
like
don't make
printing
them.
it in their room and
Yeah,
like
off like eBay.
yeah.
I don't really wear it though. This
Why?
one's one of my favorites. This my dad went to this concert and he gave it to me.
That's so nuts.
Yeah. Pink Floyd, I think 87. Yep.
Yeah, the story behind it is cool.
Yeah. Like my dad wore this. He had it. He went to the concert with his buddies. Like it's not like a brand new shirt that killed the environment and like sits in someone's closet. Like every shirt I own, like it sounds so nerdy, but like when I do laundry, like I get so hyped. It's like every shirt that I like put on a hanger has like a cool story or like something, right? It's a classic 90s Misfits, thrashed. I look like with the bald head, I don't look very happy when I wear this shirt. So I don't really wear it a lot, but I like it. It's another one. I got this one recently. It's
That
a
one's really dope.
90. Yeah. It's a bootleg from Italy. Pretty cool. They had this show in Italy. I think it was this show where like they were only supposed to have 20,000 people show up or something, but I think over 100,000 people showed up to this concert and like destroyed like the heart of Italy or something. And
Whoa.
there was all this like garbage and like destruction.
I did not know that.
Fun fact. Pink Floyd, great band.
I agree.
These two are kind of boring. This one's cool though. Metallica. I don't really wear this all that often. This one glows in the dark. It's this rare version from '94. Of course, I can't. Maybe I could show you. Let's see. Ready? I'm gonna close my blind.
Let's see,
it might
everybody.
glow. Ready?
Everybody looked for the grand. Oh
I
wow,
know.
look, it's really dark. I told JW he needs to wear that and play laser tag.
That would, yeah. I play laser tag a lot, right? So it would make sense.
Yeah.
I'll skip this one. This one's boring, but this is like one of my favorites. It's kind of, I'm a grown man wearing a cat shirt, but I love it.
Oh, but you're talk about the whole collection.
Yeah, this is I think his name's B. Clyban, but I say Kilbin. I think that's wrong. He worked for Playboy. He was an illustrator. And then when he was older, he did a lot of his own stuff. So this is on a brand called Crazy Shirts. Like if you ever go to Hawaii or like Guam, you'll see these. But this is a vintage one. I figured like I love Hawaii. I love biking. And I love cats and vintage shirts. The shirt's made for me, Like I love it.
That's so cool.
Those are all the ones I grabbed, but I definitely have way too many more. A bit more in the hobby. It's an addiction. It's a lifestyle.
Would you say you're a Patagoniac?
Dude, don't even get me started on Patagonia. Like, yeah, I'm a Patagoniac. During the pandemic, I had a phase where I was like, I would go on eBay like 5 times a day real quick, just like check new listings, like try to find like
God.
cool vintage Patagonia that I don't have. Now you
That's
know.
so crazy. I did not even know that was a whole market until now, where I've been looking through and I'm like, oh, whoa, this is a thing that people care about. But when I think of Patagonia, I think of going to like this REI. Do you know what REI is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, going to REI with like my grandpa and seeing Patagonia. But then you talk about it and I'm like, oh wait, it's cool. And I see all these like things that I didn't know about, which is so nuts. There's so much. I was looking through all the designs and it inspired me because it's so different and the style is so different. The way they print is so different.
Right.
I love how big everything is printed, or when it's faded a little bit and the colors look a little bit messed up, it's so beautiful.
I'm gonna show this one, but to speak on like design, I was very influenced by this. I actually bootlegged it, right? So this is an 80s Nike bootleg. This is Nike Satan. So I'm sure some people listening remember, like I had one of these, like it was red embroidery on a black sweater and I would sell them. But like some guy in the 90s just bootlegged it and then it wasn't being made now. So I was like, that's a cool design. Like I'm going to bootleg his bootleg.
And then in the future, someone who has that could be like, I bootleg the bootleg that bootleg.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm really interested in the art. It's like when you wear a vintage shirt, it's like normally just like a painting that's been like silkscreened onto a t-shirt. I think that's so much more interesting than like, I don't know, like a digital printed t-shirt that like is just going to disappear in like 3 years, like evaporate because it's so low quality.
I think so. And the story, because art is about story and it's just, or just paying attention to how things get passed down. I love that. It's made me think about that more.
Right. And I'm a really annoying contrarian artist weirdo where like I feel the need that I have to be unique, and like owning a vintage shirt that someone wore for 30 years, like that barbecue one that you were talking about. You wanted this barbecue shirt or something.
Mm-hmm.
How many other people have that barbecue shirt? It's like to me, there's value to that. I understand how like annoying I sound right now, but I love it.
I love it too. I've been learning more about it. I'm gonna have my cool little shirts, cool
I'm gonna hook
designs.
you up. I got an idea.
You have an idea?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. JW has an idea.
Hell yeah. It's trade for the Oculus.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
We'll have to
Anyway,
watch the Tommy interview and they'll understand that.
yeah, that was so funny. I just dropped that on you, and Tommy was sitting there like,
Oh
and
shit,
you were
okay.
like, oh my god.
Yeah. And Tommy's like,
I was just too excited, and I was
I respect
nervous.
that.
I didn't know if you were gonna get it or if someone, I don't know. So I said, I need to tell you. So I told
Right.
you.
Hey, I'm hyped.
I'm hyped too.
We're talking about it again. Sorry?
You're just gonna, like, I want you to see the buildings. Like, you
I'm
need to
already
see.
thinking like where I want to go in VR and like walk around,
Dude, the
go in
first
the
tour,
ocean.
you're gonna lose your mind. When you try it out, you have to call me like the same day. Like after you try it, be like, dude, this is
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm gonna like lock my door, close all my windows, and just like stand in my dark room
Be
and
careful,
walk
don't like
around.
fall over your bed.
Yeah, honestly.
JW has like a broken neck.
Yeah. Because of you. Oh,
So
to
funny.
tie back to vintage real quick. So you want to start buying vintage clothing? That's awesome.
I don't know how.
I would recommend Depop. Depop's pretty good. A lot of people shit on it, but I don't know. I found a lot of really good prices there. And then eBay is all right. Etsy's okay. Poshmark's okay. I don't know. I like eBay and Depop.
I don't even know what Poshmark is. So you know all these things?
Dude, I have like 9 apps on my phone. And like when I'm really into like collecting stuff, I'll like check them all really quickly. Like I have all my search terms.
That's so funny. You were showing me the thread, how there's only one thread thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is he showing me this? And then I go on Depop and all of them are like, this one only has one thread. And I'm like, oh, wow.
The single stitch. If you get into vintage, you'll start to love that. You'll be like, oh, like right now, I don't care if it's single stitch. Like I have enough shirts that who cares, right?
Mm.
But when you get like when I got really into it, I was like, oh, like I'm only gonna wear shirts with one stitch on the sleeve. Like, it'll take.
Would you
like
ever
that.
wear a vintage shirt and go to school or wherever, and someone would be like, "Ooh, that's vintage."
Dude, I don't wear shirts for people to compliment me, but this is so annoying. I've never gotten a compliment like that ever. I'll wear like, I had this one shirt. It was literally like going for like $300 or something, right? Like it's a cool shirt. Like that Pink Floyd one, like that one's pretty expensive. But no one's like, oh, nice, cool shirt, dude. No one cares. No one cares.
I'm gonna walk up to Canada just to be like, cool shirt, and then walk away.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
That's so funny.
God damn. Well, I'm excited for you to spend your money all on vintage now. I ruined you.
I'm excited for you to spend all of your money on vintage shirts.
Maybe I'm projecting.
It's so hard. I'll find one cool design. I love that you can search by size.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll find something and it's like, oh, this is extra, extra small. Or I'll click on it and it's for youth. I'll be like, what is this?
Yeah, it'll be a boy's medium. And if it's like a men's like double extra small or something, like
Yeah. I was like, what in the world? But yeah.
that's great.